This experience happened when I was taking a road trip from Utah to Colorado, where I was visiting some old college roommates that I had studied with the year prior. Traveling alone across country was quite therapeutic. The route I was on was quiet, and having the open road ahead of me, with no one really around, I thought I could pick up some speed and make up some time. The road I was on was surrounded by forest either side, the trees towering tall, concealing the road in between, and at this point, whilst looking ahead, it seemed like a straight run. Making my way down the road and eating away at a few more miles, I noticed on the road ahead a set of lights. As I gained on them, I could see it was another car up ahead. At the pace I was catching up to the car ahead, I had to slow down, at first thinking it was me and the speed I was doing. But I soon realized, the closer I got, it was more so the speed of the car in front of me, doing well below the limit, and literally coasting along. Slowing right down, I thought maybe they had an issue with the car, so not wanting to seem rude or impatient, by flashing my lights and not wanting to be stuck behind the car going at a snail's pace, I looked ahead to see endless clear road. With that, I took my opportunity to overtake the vehicle in front. As I drove past, I could see it was an old grey pickup truck, but I was unable to see the driver as the windows were tinted. As I drove past, pulling back in front of it, I watched in my rearview mirror as it faded back into the distance behind me. Thinking nothing more of it, and with the road once again clear ahead of me, I continued on my journey at a more reasonable speed. Looking at the time, I still had over a good hour left until I arrived, and with night setting in already and the lack of light on the road, it made it hard to see. I turned on my full beam to light up the way. Sitting there, flicking through my music, and away with my own thoughts, at first I didn't see the car approaching fast behind me. It wasn't until its horns blared, causing me to jump out of my skin. That's when I saw the vehicle behind me. It began erratically flashing its lights behind me, as it sounded its horn, literally driving up my arse behind me, tailgating me, its full beam making it difficult for me to see who it was. The sound of them revving their engine behind me, as if pressuring me to move out of their way. That was enough for me to signal out of my window for them to pass me. I mean, I was already doing some speed, but the person behind me clearly had his foot down on the gas. I didn't know what this person's problem was. There was a whole road ahead of me, so they could easily pass me by, just like I had done earlier. I tried speeding up, feeling the pressure, but I couldn't put any distance between me and the car. My eyes flicked from the road ahead back to the rearview mirror, watching to see if they had finally slowed. But instead, the car was closer. Literally bumper to bumper. Any closer and they would be in my back seat. As I stared, it was then the car pulled off to the side into the lane next to us. As it crept up to the side of me, I was surprised to see it was the same grey pickup truck I had not long passed. It shot ahead of me and pulled back into the same lane in front of me, wondering what the hell that was about. It was then, to my shock, the car slowed down fast like it slammed on its brakes, causing me to do the same thing, slamming my brakes so I didn't go into the back of them. As I came to a stop, the car again picked up speed and began driving off ahead. My heart racing, thinking what the hell was that guy's problem, as I watched its tail lights head off into the distance. Composing myself, I started to drive again, all the while looking ahead to see if I could see the car. I couldn't see it anymore. It was like they were trying to get me to go into the back of them. I couldn't explain the hostile behavior. I'd only passed the car, I hadn't flashed or blown my horn. I simply just overtook them, so I had no idea what all of that was about. After a short while, and finally calming myself, I was thinking back to my journey, and just wanting to get there. I was done with driving by that point, and ever since my altercation with the grey pickup, I hadn't seen any sight of any other vehicles along that stretch of road, and that pickup seemed long gone. Picking up my speed to try and get off that stretch of road, I passed a turning that seemed to lead off a dirt road into the forest around me. I remembered that, as it was the first turn-off I had seen at that point. Passing by, it wasn't a route for me to take, and it looked like a dead road on my GPS. Continuing on my way, I looked ahead on the map to see how long until I reached my turn-off. As I was preoccupied with that, the unbelievable happened. A sound that sent a shiver through me and set my pulse racing. The familiar sound of a car horn blaring from behind me coursed through my ears. Looking into my rearview mirror, I was stunned to see it was once again the grey pickup behind me, its engine roaring with intimidation as it came up behind me. How? How were they behind me? My mind raced until thinking about that dirt road. Not knowing what to do, I put my foot down. But I couldn't shift the truck. Its lights flashing as it picked up speed, bumping into the back of me, causing the car to jolt as I struggled to keep it under control. This person was crazy. My adrenaline through the roof as it pulled into the opposite lane and pulled up alongside me as we drove neck and neck. I couldn't see into the vehicle, but not knowing what else to do, I screamed out my window. What the hell was this person's problem? It was in that moment. The truck pulled into the side of me, causing me to veer off the road and down into the dirt. Wrestling to control my car and slow down, my heart raced as I coursed towards the tree lining. Thinking I was about to crash, I closed my eyes, thinking that was it. As I came to a grinding halt, I don't know if it was luck on my side or help from above, but I'd managed to avoid crashing head-on into the trees, instead smashing my rear end off the side of one. Feeling numb with shock, I looked back up at the road to see the pickup speeding off. As I fell out of my car, I scrambled to the road to watch its lights fade off into the distance. I was unable to get the license plate. Shaking like a leaf, I searched my phone to call the police. Getting through and looking around me, I was in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know where I was to give a location, just the route I was on. As I reported what I could, they were able to track my location. As I waited and looked at the damage, I could see my car wasn't drivable, having to get a tow and call one of my friends I was on my way to see to come and pick me up. That night, I couldn't believe what had happened. The fact I had seen no other vehicles along that route, but the one car I did come across turned out to be a complete psycho. I can't even put it down to road rage as I hadn't done anything wrong. Looking back on it, I still question, why? Since then, I've purchased a dashcam, as you never know what will happen on the road, and after my experience, I would urge everyone to buy a dashcam to help in circumstances like this. I'm lucky, as it could have been a whole lot worse if I'd veered head-on into a tree. Thankfully that didn't happen. To whoever you were driving that grey pickup, I hope you get what you deserve. This happened to me as I was travelling home back from work in September of 2024. My job requires me to travel a lot, so more often than not I'm on the road. As I was making my way back, I still had a good few hours ahead of me. Having set out later than I wanted, the night was kicking in. As I drove along, I found the roads becoming quieter and quieter, with cars becoming fewer and further between. It was when I hit the long stretch of country lanes where the roads became deserted. In a way, it was nice and peaceful, driving at my own pace. No one around, just the winding roads ahead. But 30 minutes down the road I was traveling, my peaceful journey came to a grinding halt. I heard a bang, and my car began to skid to the side, almost taking me into the trees surrounding me. Managing to regain control, I came to a grinding halt on the side of the road. My heart racing, wondering what the hell had happened. I got out of my car to see my front tire had blown. Knowing I didn't have a spare replaced from the last one, there was no way I could drive it to the next town. Looking around at the deserted stretch of road, the realization kicking in that I was stranded in the middle of nowhere. My only option was to find a company and call someone, or call a friend to come with a spare. Not how I saw my night going. Knowing it was a distance from home, I opted to call for a tow. Having managed to get through to someone and arrange for assistance, I was told that they wouldn't be with me for a good hour due to my location. With the roads being quiet due to the time, they were hoping to be quicker. Having no other option but to just sit tight and wait, I sat back in my car and stared into the dark, empty road. As I sat, contemplating, I began scrolling through my phone aimlessly. with 30 minutes going by but feeling like hours. I got out my car to stretch my legs. Looking into the night, there was no sign of any other vehicles passing by. Being alone and isolated, surrounded by forest, in all honesty, was creepy. And as I paced and moaned to myself about the situation, it was then I heard it. From the right of me, I heard the sound of rustling coming from the trees lining. Stopping in my tracks and looking, my eyes scanned to see what the noise was. At first, I struggled to make out anything through the darkness, but my curiosity was soon overcome with shock as I made out a figure and set of what looked to be eyes staring back at me. I say looked because they had a red color to them. I had never seen eyes like that before. The figure remained static as it glared right at me. I didn't know what it was. Turning the torch of my phone on, I aimed it in the direction of the figure to try and get a better look, but as I did, I couldn't see it. It had moved further back into the shadows. Unable to see where it had gone, it was then a sound erupted from the darkness that sent a shiver down my spine. The only way I can describe it is like an eerie wailing, a sound I couldn't associate with any animal. The sound sending my pulse racing, I quickly headed back to my car, getting back inside and locking the door. Looking out to the road, there was still no sign of another vehicle approaching. Looking at the time, I'd now been waiting near enough an hour. Glancing back to the tree lining, to my dismay, those glowing red eyes were back, looking directly at me. This time closer, giving me just enough to make out the haunting size of the figure that lay watching me. I had no clue as to what it was, but its stance was human-like. Looking down at my phone, I went to get my camera ready to get a video of what I could see. But as I did, the sound of something hitting my car sent my anxiety levels to 10. The sound of the metal from off my roof clunking caused my heart to race as the car rocked. Something was walking on my roof. I couldn't bring myself to move. I was terrified, thinking if I got out and made a run for it, I'm a goner. Staying in the car, I'm at risk. But to me, it seemed like the better option, as whatever it was preyed on me. I couldn't move myself. Trying to peer out the window into the mirror to get a look, all I could hear was moving above me. I closed my eyes, not knowing what to do, fearing the worst. I sank lower into my seat as I lay clutching my phone. The moving ceased. My car fell silent. Slowly squinting one eye open, I peered to see out my window. To my shock, in the reflection of my passenger side mirror, I couldn't see anything diverting my view to outside. It was then I could see the set of headlights approaching in the distance. A wave of relief washing over me as I checked one last time before opening my car door. As I waited for the vehicle to approach, my eyes searched everywhere, and just as before, in the distance I saw the red eyes watching me. The tow finally reaching me, the driver stepped out, and as he greeted me, he asked if everything was okay. He could clearly see the fear on my face. Looking into the trees, the eyes, they were gone. I went to tell him, but I didn't know what to say, or want to sound crazy. So I told him that an animal had just startled me, that's all. As he replied, chuckling, that yeah, you can get anything out here. I thought to myself how right he was, and he didn't even know it. That night, as he drove me back into town, all I could think of was that figure and its eyes, asking myself, what was it? After that night, and eventually getting back, I told my close family what happened and what I saw, and came into contact with. And from what I've been told, people believe I came into contact with a Wendigo that night. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's terrifying. It's scary to think that things like that could really exist out there. And after that encounter and that night, I truly believe. So we're now in the middle of nowhere. Be careful out there. And remember, there may be things out there that we don't know about. Thank you for joining us and watching this chilling video. We hope you enjoyed this topic and you found the fear within. What other subjects would you like to hear soon? Let us know in the comments what creeps you out. If you're new here, say hello, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Become a part of the Horror Motives world. See you soon with another terrifying video.